Hello, I'm Mel. I'm married to Laura, and we have 4-year-old twins of IVF with Bourn Hall. Myself and Laura met coming on 13 years ago. I just turned 18 actually, and Laura was 25. In a few months into mine and Laura's relationship, we did start talking about children. We did only think, with being the same sex couple and not too much amount of money, we did only think that the only way that we could have that family unit was either with a friend donor, but we weren't too sure about that. So that's when we decided to look on the internet and see what our options were. We saw a couple of sites and one picked out on us. And we did meet someone, and it didn't work. I wouldn't advise going down the online route. It's a scary place. I was speaking to Laura one night and I was like, well, maybe we should go to our GP and see if I am able to carry. Instead of keep meeting and keep trying, let's just see if everything's working. So then we booked an appointment with our GP. They took some bloods and they told us very early on that I had polycystic ovaries. And he told me on the spot that I will never have children biologically. And I walked out of that doctor's stunned, really. I then broke down in tears, and I actually said to Laura that I'm thinking about walking away from you, because your goal, you've always told me you've always wanted to be a mother. But she said that she didn't want to be a mummy with any child. It was with our children, and that we would work our way through it. And that's what we did. We then got a second opinion from the same GP surgery, and that's when we got referred to King's Lynn Hospital and talking about going through a clinic and IVF. I was told that my BMI was too high. It meant that I had to lose around 3.5 stone. Once we'd lost the weight and we were on the go for it, they gave us a list of options, one being Bourn Hall, but we'd heard about Bourn Hall through word of mouth, really. And then we'd done our research about it, and we very much saw that it was one of the best in the world. We were eligible for 3 tries on the NHS, which now looking back, we were so lucky, because in our catchment now, we wouldn't be eligible for any. We chose Bourn Hall in Cambridge, and there was an open evening. So we went, and we were very nervous. We were very nervous. And you pull up to the grounds, and there is this grand building. It is beautiful. And but the minute you walk through the doors, it felt so welcoming. And it didn't look like a hospital. It didn't look like a doctor's. It felt more like a home. It really did. And there was a handful of people in this room, and specialists about IVF, of any treatment. And they just went into details, and they asked if you've got any questions, and they were very patient with all of us. And then we got given a appointment, I think about 2-3 weeks later down the line. When we were talking about the donor, we always knew that we were going to go down Laura's side of the family. And so you gave them your description roughly of what you had imaged, tall, short. And then the team came back with 3 profiles. You don't get to see any pictures. You don't get to see any names. It is just 3 profiles. If you didn't find a match on them 3 couples, you can get given another set, and keep going until you find your perfect match. I had to sign that I agreed for Laura to be the co-parent, and Laura to sign that she agrees to be the co-parent. So there were a lot of paperwork to sign for myself and Laura. Laura had to sign everything that I had to sign, which made us feel secure too. Laura was a part of every single step, even though I was carrying. We were going to have a treatment called ICSI, which means instead of having the egg and the sperm and them to find in each other, it was that their egg was injected with the sperm, and that was then given to the scientists, and they do their magic. It was all mind-blowing, first of all, that there was lots of injections, and and talk about it really. But once you went step by step, it all broke down and it was very understandable. Our first treatment we thought worked. It was a positive pregnancy test. We were all happy. But it turned out that I had only made the sac of the pregnancy. So there was no baby in there. And then I got pregnant again. But we were very anxious about this one. We weren't celebrating as much. But then I got very poorly. I had something called hyperstimulation of the ovaries. And I was rushed to hospital. And 3 days later, I miscarried. So I did lose our child there. And that one hit me. That one really hit me. I remember being on the phone to my sister, and I was walking down the road, and a woman was pregnant, and I started crying to my sister. And this is my older sister. And she said to me, "But you don't know, Mel, that woman might be carrying her miracle baby. She might have been trying for 10 years, and that is her miracle baby." So that's what got it for me. I got brought down to earth again. And I remember my dad saying, this is Mother Nature's way of saying maybe that you can't have children biologically. So why don't you listen to her? And my reply was, but I have one more try. On the third try, me and Laura, we sat down, and it was over dinner actually. And we talked about that we are happy together. We are happy together, and that's our life. If we have children, then that's an added bonus. And if we don't have children, we are still happy. So I did relax on the third try. It wasn't, we must have children. It was, whatever will be, will be. Well, we then had a positive pregnancy test on our third try. We didn't celebrate. We were just, let's just keep it cool. Our 6-week scan, we were very nervous. We got to our scan at Bourn Hall, and the lady scanned me, and she was like, hold on a minute, I just need a second opinion. So that's when me and Laura clenched hands. We were in this room together, and I was like, I don't know what's going on. And the 2 women came back and they said, yep, you are right. So then I was like, is everything okay? And the lady said, there's 2 heartbeats. So I was like, so I'm pregnant, my heartbeat and a fetus's heartbeat. I am pregnant. Are you telling me? And she said, no, there's 2 heartbeats as well as yours. So that's when I was like, okay. And she said, you are pregnant with twins. I love being a mother, and Laura is amazing too. And we just try and make each day fun. Going back to the internet and going down that route, I don't think I would have had that secureness in my family. So just go to your GP. That's what I very much advise. Go to your GP and see what options are open. Don't just go online and see what your options are on there. Go to your GP and have a proper chat with them. I would recommend Bourn Hall because it's so welcoming. It's so friendly, and they just go into every detail of what they're going to do. But you do feel comfortable saying, wait a minute, I'm panicking. Can you explain it, please? We will forever be thankful to every single part of that team, even to the ladies on the front desk that gave us a smile as soon as we walked in. They are all our family.